communities.
Funding for the Iowa Girls High School Softball Championships is provided by
The path to greatness starts early. The Iowa Farm Bureau believes in Iowa's youth and their pursuit of greatness. That's why we're proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Each student's effort is important, and when one rises, we all rise to a better Iowa.
Whether you live in rural Iowa or in the big city, the Iowa Network Services family of companies and your local provider are working together to keep you connected by offering technology and business solutions like internet, data networking, and other business services. The INS family of companies keeping communities connected today and tomorrow.
Fairway, along with Mondelez Nabisco, Wells Blue Bunny, and Frito-Lay, is a proud sponsor of the 2014 Iowa Girls High School Sports Championships. We congratulate all the schools and student athletes participating in this year's Girls High School State Softball Championships. Fairway, proud to care for the places we work and live.
By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialist, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.
Mid-American Energy and their Energy Advantage programs are dedicated to increasing the awareness of energy efficiency in Iowa's homes and businesses. Information is at midamericanenergy.com. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back to Championship Friday here on Iowa Public Television. Rogers Sports Complex, the place to be for the Iowa High School Girls Softball Championships. It is a windy day here as the teams have battled the weather elements, but it's time for the two-way matchup, the showcase showdown between Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont and the Earlham Cardinals. Eric Braley and Molly Parrott getting set to call this one. And Molly, it was an exciting semifinal matchup. Let's spotlight some of the top performers. First for Earlham.
Well, for the Earlham Cardinals, several seniors in this starting lineup, a real veteran squad. We're going to talk about Kaylee Brindley. She's a senior pitcher, actually threw a no-hitter through 6 innings yesterday in semifinal action. Really gets this team going from in the circle.
And for Eddyville-Blakesburg, they are just outstanding top to bottom in their lineup. Who's some of their top performers?
A lot of really nice, good-looking athletes on this Rocket squad. A couple of seniors lead the way for them as well. Tasha Alexander, we're going to keep our eye on the senior shortstop. Could have played a number of sports at the college level, actually, but she has chosen to continue playing softball. She will join the Drake Bulldogs in the fall.
And before we start the game, let's go to public address announcer Randy Krejci with some awards.
Every year, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union honors softball players that reach 100 career victories from the previous softball seasons. Presenting awards today, representing the IGHSAU Board of Directors, is Board President Kevin Elwood of Trainer. The 2013 softball season saw 2 girls reach 100 career victories. Our first honoree recorded a 104-37 career mark at Sumner Fredericksburg from 2009 to 2013. She was named third team All-State her sophomore, junior, and senior seasons, and was the starting pitcher on Sumner Fredericksburg's 2012 team that finished 4th in the Class 2A state softball tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sumner Fredericksburg, Kelsey Nilgis. Our second honoree today pitched 5 seasons at Jessup and compiled a pitching record of 140 wins with just 59 losses. She led the Jayhawks to a pair of state tournament appearances in 2010 and 2013 and was named to the 2013 All-Tournament team last year. She earned first-team All-State honors 3 times. From Jessup, Kelsey Law. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 100-game winners from 2013, Kelsey Nilgis of Sumner Fredericksburg and Jessup's Kelsey Law. Congratulations, girls, on reaching this significant milestone. The Jack North Softball Award is given annually to the senior that received the most all-tournament votes at the state softball tournament. The recipient of the 2013 Softball Jack North Award is Paige Compton of Durant. Paige was brilliant on the mound for Durant in last year's Class 2A state tournament, tossing 3 shutouts while scattering 8 hits over 3 games to lead her team to the Class 2A state championship. Paige was selected as captain of that 2A all-tournament team and was also a first-team All-State selection. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 recipient of the Jack North Softball Award from Durant, Paige Compton. Congratulations.
We have starting lineups coming up for the 2A championship matchup between Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont and the Earlham Cardinals. Both had exciting semifinal victories yesterday before the rain came here at Rogers Sports Complex. The field is in great condition. So take a look at all the different camera angles. We have it covered here on Iowa Public Television. The teams are making their way, and we'll go back to Randy Krejci with the starting lineups.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Harlan and Hazel Rogers Sports Complex and this Class 2A championship game between the Rockets of Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont and the Cardinals of Earlham High School. Let's meet the non-starters first for the visitors from Earlham. Number 2, Anna Kroger. Number 6, Kylie Royster. Number 7, Cameron Caskey. Number 8, Sam Tiedemann. Number 14, Michaelin Holtree. Number 15, Maddie Tiedemann. Number 21, Alexis Jensen. Number 28, Kelsey Tibbs, and number 30, Kaylee Eckhart. The assistant coaches for Earlham, Kristen Sheffield and Allie Waugh. And now your starters for the Cardinals of Earlham. Playing third base, number 16, Kristen Weber. Batting second is the shortstop, number 19, Addie Herman. Batting third, second baseman, number 3, Abby Murphy. The cleanup hitter is the pitcher, number 27, Kaylee Brindley. Batting fifth, first baseman, number 9, Morgan Johnson. Batting sixth, behind the plate doing the catching, number 31, Taylor Williamson. Batting 7th in right field, number 32, Taylor Hipsley. Batting 8th in center field, number 20, Jaslyn Sprague. And hitting in the number 9 spot, left fielder, number 18, Emily Boston. The head coach for the Cardinals, Mr. Chris Caskey. Now for the non-starters for the home team from Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Number 4, Emily Flagg. Number 5, Selena Bush. Number 7, Ashley Pilcher. Number 10, Brianna Van Steeg. Number 11, Riley Arnold. Number 16, Terry Lane. Number 19, Taryn Schwartz. And number 21, Lexi Taylor. The assistant coaches, Travis Stout, Jared Jensen, and Jeff Hopkins. And now the starters for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Leading off and playing center field, number 22, Hagen Boyer. Batting second, the third baseman, number 1, Paige Schaefer. Batting third, at shortstop, number 3, Tasha Alexander. In the cleanup spot, again, the pitcher, number 12, Natalia Hopkins. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 2, Claire Yeager. Batting sixth, second base, number 14, Sadie Boffer. Batting seventh, the designated player, number 6, Rachel Malloy. Batting eighth, right fielder, number 9, Randy Richmond. Batting ninth in left field, number 18, McKinley Moore. The flex player at first base, number 13, Bethany Reinhardt. And the head coach of EBF, Mr. Tony Fenton. Please turn your attention to home plate and the elite championship umpires for this contest. At first base, Terry Carson. At third base is Pete Peterson. And calling the balls and strikes behind the plate, the crew chief, Mr. Mark Amadeo. Let's get ready for state championship softball.
Well, it all comes down to this, the championship game here at Class 2A. One championship trophy already been handed out. Congratulations to the 1A champs, Akron Westfield, a 54 win streak for them, a 12-1 victory over Key. They are your 1A champs. Now time to do battle here at the 2A level between Earlham and Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. The batting order for Earlham as we get set. There it is. You see Kristen Weber, the third baseman, will lead things off. Addie Herman, Abby Murphy, Kaylee Brindley, the pitcher, hitting that cleanup spot. Morgan Johnson, Taylor Williamson, Taylor Hipsley, Jaslyn Sprague, and finishing out Emily Boston, the left fielders. That is the starting lineup in the batting order for Earlham, who's looking to get out to an early jump start here. Natalia Hopkins on the mound, and she is talented, Molly.
She is. She's a nice player. As we mentioned in the pregame, a couple of seniors really lead the way for this squad. Shortstop Tasha Alexander and then Natalia Hopkins. Her dad is actually one of the assistant coaches, so you can imagine that around the dinner table in the Hopkins family household, there's a lot of conversation surrounding Rockets softball.
And here's a look at the Rockets defense. Hopkins on in the pitcher circle, pitching to Yeager, and left to right it's Schaefer. Alexander moving over, and here's the opening pitch, and we're officially underway here for the Class 2A title game. And up to the plate, this is Kristen Weber, the third baseman, leadoff hitter. Coach really likes what she brings at this leadoff hitting role. Great on-base percentage.
Enjoyed watching Kristen play yesterday. You can tell she has that fiery, competitive personality, perfect for that leadoff spot.
Hitting over 400, gets a nice handle of that. Hit well into right field, and the first player up to the bat gets on base, Kristen Weber, with a single.
A great job of taking that outside pitch to the opposite field. So many young hitters want to try to pull everything because that's where their comfort level lies. Excellent job by the junior.
That'll bring up Addie Herman. And she squares around a bunt. And it clipped her. So the first two batters for Earlham get on base. No outs. And threatening here right off the bat. Not wasting any time at all. Earlham, again, 30 wins, just 4 losses on the year. And a quick timeout called by Eddyville. Here's the pitch inside. She was squared around, caught it on the elbow. And that's a free ticket down to first base.
Coach Fenton going to try to settle down the troops here a little bit for the Comets. This is an Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont squad. This is our first trip to the state tournament since 1999. However, several young ladies on this squad reached the state semifinals in the volleyball tournament. So they're pretty experienced as far as being on this type of stage, although it's a little bit different. Earlham, very experienced here in Fort Dodge.
Knocked off the #1 ranked team yesterday to get here. And the first inning, it was a slow start for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont in that game. But they battled back and improved as the game went along. They need to get an out here early on. And again, working on that pitcher circle, who's been so great all year long, is Hopkins. Good camera view there. Pitch inside.
As you mentioned, the Highland squad, ranked first in the state, only had 1 loss coming into yesterday's semifinal. Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont really battled out of some tough jams.
This one's popped up. It'll stay in play, drifting, and it falls in for a hit. Everybody's safe, and Earlham has the bases full here in the top of the first inning. A couple hits, a hit batter, and threatening as we look at the replay here. It's kind of in that no man's land. Somebody's got to call it. The wind is swirling, and the ball drops to the turf. Earlham really wants to take advantage here and get a couple runs across to break this game open. Eddyville, they just need to take a deep breath and get an out here, Molly.
Well, we saw that wind be a factor in our 1A opener prior to this game. And you know that those coaches have mentioned it to their respective squads.
Well, this is Brindley, the pitcher for Earlham, trying to help her cause here. And facing a 2-ball, 1-strike count. She is the cleanup hitter. She is the senior. 27 runs, 30 hits, 28 runs batted in. That pitch misses. And now goes to 3-1.
And awfully nice when your workhorse in the circle also is your cleanup hitter. Awfully talented.
First pitch has been a ball to all 4 batters. And been working from behind. Gonna go home and called out. The force at the plate. There's the first out. No run score. Same situation, except you have an out on the board for Eddyville-Blakesburg. Very smart, didn't hesitate, knew exactly where to take that comebacker.
And it almost looked like Hopkins might have bobbled it ever so slightly initially, but she struck right in there. Hopefully this Eddyville team, hopefully that helps them just relax a little bit. All right, we've got that first one down. Now let's just play softball. Forget about those ducks on the pond.
This ball taken to right field. 1 run scores. Earlham's on the board. Good play by the right fielder, Richmond, to get the out on Johnson at first base. So now 2 outs, but here's the first run of the 2A championship game. Perfect piece of hitting there.
Love seeing these Earlham hitters take the ball to the opposite field. We'll see how Hopkins adjusts. Yesterday, our head coach mentioned that her curveball wasn't working the way it typically does. She had to make some adjustments, go to some other pitches. And we'll see how she maybe bounces back after giving up a couple of early singles.
And if Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont can get out of this inning just giving up 1 run, I think they'll be very happy, because anytime you have 0 outs and the bases loaded, you got a lot of tough work to do. Right now, first base is open with 2 Runners on in scoring position for Earlham. A 1-0 ball game here. Eric Braley, Molly Parrott, your broadcast crew for Iowa Public Television. Ball right up and an easy play. And Earlham, a good inning, could have been even better. They get one run in the top of the first inning.
Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont does an excellent job of settling down after those bases were loaded. And that really comes from that senior pitcher, Hopkins. Really just kind of got settled down, got that first out and the force out at home. She kind of does the rest all on her own.
So 2 hits, a run, and here's a look at the Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont batting order and starting lineup. Boyer, the center fielder, will get them started. Then Schaefer, Alexander, Hopkins, Yeager, Boffer, Malloy, Richmond, Moore, and Reinhard. That's a lineup that has some true athletes, and from top to bottom, any of those players can get on base.
A lot of good-looking athletes for the Comets, led by a couple of seniors.
And here's a look at Brindley, 19-2, 135 innings on the season, a 1.81 ERA. The walks to strikeout ratio is amazing. And talking with their coach, he said, you know, we have 2 really strong pitchers, but our defense is stronger when Brindley is in the pitcher's mound because the other pitcher, Murphy, can play second base, as you take a look at the Cardinals' defense on your screen there.
And Chris Caskey, the head coach for this Earlham squad, he mentioned that Murphy's a good pitcher, but they feel like coming into the state tournament, that's something that was really beneficial to them, is that Kaylee Brindley hadn't thrown as many innings as a lot of pitchers do. They get tired this late in the season. They feel like she's still pretty fresh.
Murphy had 11 wins as this one's popped up, and it'll be foul for a long strike. Both senior pitchers, Abby Murphy and Kaylee Brindley, and it's good to have options. As Boyer at the plate, hitting close to 300 on the year. Again, the center fielder for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Trailing 1-0. This one fouled back. And talking with Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont's coach, he said, you know, we're really not patient. We like to be aggressive in that batter's box, and hardly any walks this year, attacking, swinging at that first pitch. And she swung at all 3 of them. 2 foul balls, now a pop-up, and Boyer's retired after the catch there by Hipsley.
And I would guess that these Eddyville players don't realize that Kaylee Brindley threw a no-hitter through 6 innings yesterday, but they know that she's a formidable opponent in the circle. I like the way that freshman Boyer got right in there. She's not going to take pitches. If it's close, she's swinging.
This will bring up Paige Schaefer, the third baseman. 1 away, no one on, and the pitch outside for a ball. Again, that semifinal game, Eddyville had double-digit hits and took advantage of 5 errors as they cruised to a 6-2 victory over #1 ranked Highland, trying to build off that momentum. This one stays fair, and the grounder picked up easily by Johnson. She steps on the bag, 2 away.
In this Eddyville squad, they don't have a lot of big hitters. I mean, top to bottom in their lineup, they've got some folks hitting in the upper 300s, but as a team came into the state tournament hitting under 300 as a squad, so they don't have some of those really big numbers that maybe you've seen on some of the other teams throughout the week here in Fort Dodge, but they manufacture runs. They like to take the extra base. When they have opportunities, they feel like they have to seize.
Big cut there. Coming up empty-handed, though. And this is Tasha Alexander, the shortstop. Yeah, talking with Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. What's your strength? Overall team speed. You got to get on the base pass, though, to be aggressive. Good hustle by the third baseman, Weber. And staying alive here is Alexander.
We saw Tasha made a couple of nice plays in the field yesterday. Very athletic shortstop. Head coach Tony Fenton said, "I think she's the best shortstop in the state." Excuse me. I don't care what class you're talking about. Very confident in her abilities.
Swing and a miss, but it's a dropped ball. Hustling down to first base, and Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont has their first base runner. As the ball gets by Williamson. We'll actually have a unique story on Williamson, the catcher. Brent Bloom, our third member of our broadcast crew. We'll go to him at the conclusion of the first inning. You talk about battling adversity when it comes to sports, and Earlham has definitely done that to get to where we are today in the Class 2A championship. So threatening with their first base runner is EBF. Ball's popped up. And a nice grab, drifting, and hauling it in. That's Murphy. Communications key. Hauls it in for the out. And no hits, no runs. And after one, it's a 1-0 advantage for Earlham. So as promised, here's Brent Bloom with a little more on Williamson, the catcher for Earlham. Lost the audio there, but we have the strong connection with Brent. We know what he was going to talk about, and Williamson was in the hospital yesterday, late night, early morning, dehydration, thought maybe pneumonia a bit. Dad picked her up, took her to the team bus, and she hit the game-winning hit and battled through adversity with that illness. You're a former athlete. How tough is that?
Well, I've never had any kind of illness where I was had a temperature over 100 and then was expected to play in a state semifinal game with catcher's equipment on. So I can't exactly speak to her experiences, but you love to see a young kid step up in that type of situation. She faced some adversity. We'll probably talk about it on the defensive end. Had a couple of snafus late in the game that allowed Woodbury Central to tie it up, and no fear, she stepped right to the plate and jacked one out of the park to end it.
It's one thing to just be playing after having to check into the hospital the same day, but to be a catcher, fortunately, you know, we don't have triple-digit temperatures here. It's a nice, cool, breezy day.
Taylor Hipsey at the plate. She's just an 8th grader. She hit a home run out of the park yesterday, and I don't think she realized that it was out for quite some time. It was almost like her coach had to coax her to run all the way around the base paths. A little timid. It was a kind of a cute little naive moment from a youngster.
Love to see the potential here. And you'll be watching it all day long as this one's hit hard to right, drifting back. Bounces off the fence, a stand-up double. That's an 8th grader, folks. You'll be hearing that name a lot over the next 4 years. Taylor Hipsley getting things started off on the right foot here in the top of the second for Earlham. Nice piece of hitting here.
She only had a few extra base hits in all of the regular season, but she stepped up in a major way in the postseason. I guess no better time than the semis and the finals of the state tournament.
Well, she's growing up, maturing. I mean, a month from now, she'll be a freshman. So, love to see young players contributing, and looking at both rosters. Strong junior, senior classes, but when you can sprinkle in an 8th and 9th grader with some athleticism, nice play by the shortstop, throw across the diamond, high, but good hang by Reinhard. And there's the out, runner unable to advance as Hipsley stays on second base.
And what a luxury for a youngster, someone like a Taylor Hipsley or a Taylor Williamson, the sophomore catcher, to learn from these 6 starters on this Earlham squad. They've been very successful throughout their time.
Yeah, the pressure's not on you. You're just an 8th grader here doing what you can to contribute.
Exactly, but next year when 6 studs leave, 5 of those kids are going to play college sports, not all softball players, playing a bunch of sports, and they're going to need that leadership.
Perfect bunt, advances Hipsley over to third. Nice sacrifice. Boston is the second out, but she does her job. And when you're a third base coach, you're given the signals bunt. Not every time do you get the execution. Good execution there, and threatening again here is Earlham, but having to do it with the top of the order, Weber, with 2 outs on the board.
And Coach Caskey clearly has a lot of confidence in his leadoff hitter.
She singled to right field to start this game. Remember, the bases were loaded. Weber, Herman, and Murphy for Earlham to start the first. They were able to get one run across, but left a couple stranded. Ball hit to right, and it's caught, a line drive. Threatening was Earlham, but no runs scored in the top half of the first inning. You can tell the intensity's cranked up a notch or two. We're playing for a title here, Molly.
Oh, absolutely. We've been pretty spoiled with great softball this last day and a half. And I think for this Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont squad, you know, they knocked off the top team in the state, Highland of Riverside. One loss coming into that game. I would say the favorite coming in, although a lot of really good teams here in the 2A in things yesterday, but you could tell they were so excited yesterday that they won that game. It's a pretty quick turnaround to kind of come back down to earth, probably go back to the dorms here at Iowa Central, get some sleep, and come back down to reality and get ready for the next game.
And there you see the keys to the game. We need to put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense, and then the aggressive base running, taking that extra base. And we saw it time and time again as they had 11 hits and took advantage of 5 errors, so they had a lot of base runners yesterday.
Well, as I mentioned, they don't have some of those gaudy statistics that you've seen for some of the other squads here, but they're able to get some wins because of the manufacturing.
And for Earlham, relying on that experience, a lot of seniors, and contagious hitting. We've seen it already, and we're just in the second inning. We'll keep an eye on those keys and see which teams are achieving their goals, and usually the teams that do that are in a position to win at the end of the game. So for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont, to start things off here in the bottom of the second, this is Claire Yeager, the catcher, wearing number 2. Back-to-back pitches fouled back to the screen. Usually if you foul it back, you're close.
If you foul back a couple in a row, you got to think that you're awfully close. Near miss.
But digging a hole now down 0-2 in the count. Pitched low and inside. Good spot for that with an 0-2 count. And for Eddyville-Blakesburg, again, making first trip to Fort Dodge since 1999, only the second appearance in school history. Hits a rope out to left field. Nice base hit to jumpstart the second inning by the number 5 hitter, Claire Yeager.
Nice aggressive hitting, got to protect that plate in that 2-strike situation. We will have a pinch runner.
So it'll be for Eddyville-Blakesburg, number 7, Ashley Pilcher, a junior. As Yeager, the catcher, gets a chance to take a breather after getting the first base hit of the game for her team. Showing bunt, beautifully executed. A nice running defensive play by Weber. But the runner advances as Pilcher now stands on second base.
And I appreciate when good teams can lay down bunts and manufacture runs. I think the ways of the technology has improved the bats. Home run ball has become a much bigger part of college softball. I think a much bigger part of the high school game, but I think that makes you appreciate the small ball play even more.
Kind of a swinging bunt there as it does the trick of advancing Pilcher to third, now threatening, but having to do it with the backs against the wall with 2 outs. As you look at the replay here, and here's Tasha Alexander. The number 3 hitter takes the strike. The shortstop, Randy Richmond.
Randy Richmond, just an 8th grader. No pressure here, youngster.
That one will be out of play. Yeah.
First at bat in the state championship game, and you've got a heck of an opportunity. Got herself in a little bit of a hole here. You can tell that Kaylee Brindley is an upperclassman. She's thrown a lot of innings. She does a really nice job of going right at hitters, likes to get on top, get in front of the count.
Trying to get the equalizer in. Could be trouble, but nice catch by the shortstop, Herman. They got a base runner all the way over to third, but unable to get a run across the plate. A 1-0 lead for Earlham after 2 innings. Let's now hear from our third member of our broadcast crew, Brent Bloom. Brent, what do you got?
Thanks, Eric. Earlham has been blessed with pitching. Kaylee Brinley so far throwing a shutout, but she is just the second in a long line of Earlham Cardinal pitchers. Amber Lagerman led them to a state title in 2009, throwing brilliant softball. She is now a Division I athlete at Miami of Ohio. It took Brinley a little while to develop her reputation in the center circle, but head coach Chris Caskey says she has found her groove, and here they are in the state championship game looking for their second title in 5 years. Guys?
Thank you, Brent. Always working hard to figure out some of these storylines, and Brent will be here for all 5 championship games. Again, congratulations to the 1A champs, Akron Westfield, who defeated Key. We're in the 2A championship game. And after this will be 3A, 4A, and 5A. So no need for a remote control today. Just keep it plugged into Iowa Public Television, and I can give you the guarantee of exciting entertainment all day long. So here's Addie Herman hitting .337 on the season. Showing bunt, pulls it back, and fouls it back.
As we mentioned, these 6 seniors on this Earlham squad. Coach Chris Caskey said he's been pretty spoiled. There's very little drama on his squad. He also coaches a couple of other sports, which we'll mention, I'm sure. But he said he really appreciates that about this team. They're very level-headed. They get along really well. Pretty spoiled, I would say, to have 6 of your 9 starters be seniors who have kind of been there, done that, have been a lot of these situations. Addie Herman, who's up to bat, another good example.
Called strike. And he even admitted he doesn't know much about pitching. He said, I'll be the first to admit it. He's the athletic director, the football coach, the boys track and field coach. He said, I've been blessed to have great pitchers that work really hard.
Yep. We asked him, when do you try to go on a vacation? He said, well, we thought maybe next week. He said, no, that's when the little kids' youth football camp starts. So
he makes a trip to Fort Dodge for the state championships, a little vacation time. Herman in the first inning was hit by a pitch. She's the only run of the game for either team, and gets a free ticket here with the base on balls, and brings up the number 3 hitter and second baseman Abby Murphy. She singled to right field her first at-bat.
Good at-bat there by Addie Herman, and she thought that she had drawn a walk a little earlier, a couple pitches before, hung right in there, battled, and does end up with that walk a few pitches later.
Eddyville 26-5, Earlham 30 wins, just 4 losses. Both teams played very tough schedules. Eddyville in the same conference as Clark, who will be playing next up for the 3A title. Clark actually won the conference, taking a base there, a stolen base by Herman.
Good jump there by Addie Herman. So far in front of the throw, she's able to slide right in. Doesn't even have to slide around that tag.
Herman in the regular season with 14 stolen bases to lead the team. Takes away the double play potential. Puts a runner on in scoring position. A 1-2 count. And this one gets through the wickets, rounding third. Coming home and safe. Addie Herman has both runs, and it's a 2-0 lead for Earlham after Murphy hits it past the first baseman, Reinhardt. Let's look at the replay here.
Love that aggressive base running. As soon as that was through the infield, Caskey was sending Herman home. No hesitation as she rounds third.
They'll be credited as an error. Still no outs.
And good piece of hitting by Abby Murphy, the previous batter. That was a changeup. She knew she was out in front of it, but shifted her weight back just enough in order to keep that ball in fair play.
Pitch low and inside for a ball. And, you know, spotlighting in our pregame the potential of Hopkins. She's very talented, has about 5 different pitches she goes to. But right now, the last couple games facing competition that is at the highest level. And you expect that here in the semifinals and finals. That one goes foul. Count at 1-2. You can see on the nice graphics there, a runner is on first base. It's Abby Murphy. Top of the third, not missing by much.
We'll see if Coach Caskey maybe gives Murphy the green light for a stolen base here. Paid dividends for Addie Herman previously.
Now she'd still be standing on third if she would not have stolen second. So the count goes full. We'll have the payoff pitch coming up here to number 27, Kaylee Brindley. There it is. Caught looking. Called third strike. The runner does take second. So Murphy in scoring position. And that's the first strikeout of the game for Hopkins. Nice play by the shortstop, Alexander. Now quickly 2 away.
She looks like she might have pulled her head just a little bit there as she went to field the ball. Maybe a slight bit of a tough hop there.
Here's that steal. Again, it was a called third strike. Easily takes second. Could have probably been a double play on that last ball put into play had she not stolen just a couple seconds earlier. So Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont in a good spot with 2 outs defensively, but definitely not out of harm's way yet with Murphy on second. Ball put into play, charging in, the shortstop. Nice throw across the body. And Alexander DeReinhardt again. Another run scores in the top of the third. It's Earlham 2. Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont 0 as we head to the bottom half of the third inning. A beautiful facility here at Fort Dodge. It's been the home for the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Union softball championships for many years, and you can see the bracket of how these teams were able to reach the title game. Highland, the #1 ranked team, upset by Eddyville in the semifinals yesterday, and Earlham defeated North Butler, Woodbury Central, to get here this afternoon. The winner of this game is your Class 2A champion. And the fans of Earlham are doing their part to cheer on their girls. And talking to both coaches, they said, man, the community support has been awesome. You have a pep rally, a send-off. Talking to Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont's coach, Tony Fenton, he says, you know, I don't do much Facebook, but it's blowing up right now.
Yeah. Doesn't really strike me as a social media guy.
But the support from former players, community members, that's what I love, especially about the 1A, 2A, small communities where I'm guessing not a lot of stores are open right now in those smaller communities because, hey, everybody's in Fort Dodge.
Well, the 1A game, it's a little harder for us to see down from our broadcast spot just how big these crowds are for this 2A game, but for the 1A game in particular, there weren't too many open spots up there.
And sometimes you see the largest crowds at 1A, 2A, and as it gets to the 4A, 5A, crowds not as large. Pitch, swing and a miss. So 2 strikes early on. McKinley Moore, the #9 hitter, left fielder, facing off against Brindley. And a strikeout. So that is the second strikeout for Brindley. And now it's the second time through the order for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Nice slow motion instant replay. Just misses it by an eyelash, but comes up empty. Bottom of the third. In our only other at bat. The on deck circle is Paige Schaefer. Ball will stay in the infield, calling everyone off. It's the second baseman, and Murphy hauls it in. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the third.
Murphy will be playing at Indian Hills Community College in the fall. Actually, will be teammates with her opponent, Talia Hopkins, the pitcher for Eddyville.
A lot of talent going on to the next level, college sports, and you'll see that. I know they talked about it in the 1A matchup, but not everyone is going to play college softball. You have track, a high jumper, you have a soccer player, you have a basketball player.
Pretty impressive that 5 of the 6 in this Carlisle senior class will play something at the next level.
Beautiful grab over there close to the fence, and grabbing the out is Weber.
And even though this Earlham squad loses a bunch, as we've mentioned, kind of feel like a broken record as much as we have said that, but Kristen Weber, I think no one better than her to really be that leader going into next season. She's a little pistol over there in the hot corner, and a great example of it. She would have run through that fence and that dugout if necessary.
Here's Brent Bloom with Chris Caskey, the head coach for Earlham.
Chris, obviously you have to be very pleased with this start so far.
I think we're hitting the ball pretty well. If we can get a couple more to fall, I think we could get a couple more runs. But they're such good hitters over there that we're holding them down, but not for long. So
offensively, has it been a strategy to go first pitch swinging? It seems like you're very aggressive up there.
At times. I don't think they know. I mean, it just depends on the game.
And how would you assess Brinley in the circle so far, throwing a lot of first pitch strikes?
Yeah, she's getting ahead of batters, which helps us out a lot.
So what's the key to closing this one out so far?
More runs.
Go get them.
Thank you.
That's Chris Caskey, the Earlham head coach. His Cardinals lead 2-0.
Thank you, Brent Bloom. Chris Caskey, also the athletic director and the football coach and the track and field coach.
Yeah.
So wears many hats. Some good insight.
He was a baseball coach, the head baseball coach at Essex High School for 8 years prior to coming to Earlham. And he said, I was only going to do the softball gig for a year. He's very humble. He claims to not know anything about softball, which clearly isn't true, but he praised his assistant coaches, praised the leadership on this squad. The type of guy that you want your kids to play sports for. Loves high school sports, loves working with young men and women, and a great example of a really true leader for that Earlham school district.
Great community member, and they said, you know, I wouldn't go back to baseball. Softball's more fun. It's faster paced. Defense is vitally important. Had a 0-2 count. Now 2 pitches out of the strike zone for Hopkins. Count even at 2-2. Top of the 4th inning. Eric Braley, Molly Parrott, Brent Bloom here for Iowa Public Television Sports. Ball fouled down the right field line. Count will stay at 2-2. Well, it's been a lot of fun the last couple of days, Molly, just being here and part of this state championship environment. Do a top-notch job, the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Union, but also Fort Dodge is the host site. Schapper fielded well. Alexander over to Reinhardt for out number 1.
And Alexander getting a little bit of action here in these first few innings. I love the aggression of Taylor Hipsley, the 8th grader. Hit a double her first time at bat, very aggressive at the plate.
Jaslyn Sprague swings at the first one, and why not? If it's in there for a strike, takes a good swing at it for another base hit. So scoring 1 run in the first inning, 1 in the 3rd, and now threatening with a base runner here in the top of the 4th.
Well, we talked about this Earlham squad. One of the keys is that hitting tends to be contagious, and from the get-go, Kristen Weber gets a hit to lead off the game for this Cardinals squad, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. Only scored a couple of runs, but if you're getting a hit and a half every inning by average, I mean, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Emily Boston had that sacrifice. Her last at-bat, number 9 hitter. Takes a strike, 2 balls, a strike and out, and a runner on first. Again, a reminder, coming up next will be the Class 3A championship game, then 4A, then the exclamation point will be the 5A matchup. Good defensive play, another sacrifice, and a runner. Sprague is at second base.
Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont, they throw behind the runner there at second. They don't pick her up, but that sends a little bit of a message to the base runner that if you stray too far, we're going to try to pick you off. Good to see that confidence over there out of the first baseman to fire to short.
And the top of the order, Kristen Weber, you saw hitting over 400 on the year. Tricked a little bit on that one. She'll dig in again. She led the game off with the single to right field. Hard line drive to right field last time. This one's fouled back and quickly down 0-2 with 2 away.
And Hopkins has done a pretty good job this last inning, at least, of getting ahead of hitters and keeping the ball out of that strike zone. Expect her to maybe keep it out here. Throws that curveball outside.
Pitching's very much physical, but also mental and kind of a game of chess. Where do I want to put this 1-2 pitch here? The delivery upstairs and not chasing that. A very disciplined Kristen Weber.
We'll see if she eventually comes back with a low changeup, possibly to Weber. She got her to swing out of her shoes the first pitch.
That pitch outside, so now 3 straight pitches out of the strike zone. First base is open. 2 outs. The on-deck circle is Addie Herman, the player that scored all 2 runs in this ball game. Nice piece of hitting there. She knew she wasn't going to get a hit, but protecting the plate. Got to widen that strike zone when you have 2 strikes.
Weber has nice back control. Both of her contacts, first 2 at-bats, she hit it to the right field. And there, as you mentioned, knew she probably wasn't going to hit it safely.
2 to right, this one's to left. Advancing over to third, that's Sprague, and safely standing at first. A nice slap hit by Weber. So that'll be 5 hits now, and Earlham, we knew they had that offensive firepower, and they're stepping up and performing here.
Well, nice piece of hitting there by Weber. Gets down early, swings out of her shoes and misses on that changeup. She hangs right in there, battles back, fights off a pitch, and then hits safely for her second hit of the game.
.337 average on the year, 2 RBIs. Would like to make it another RBI. A 2-out rally potentially. Drifting back. Bounces to the fence. 1 run scores. 2 runs scores. A stand-up double with 2 runs batted in, and that kind of breaks the game open a little bit here in the top of the 4th. Addie Herman, she's my pick for MVP thus far here in this ball game.
Well, nice little 1-2 punch in the top of this Cardinals order. Weber, your leadoff hitter, she's gotten on a couple of times with base hits. Herman, now 1 for 1. Was hit by a pitch, got walked. Great job, excellent display of hitting with that double to the gap. Has scored 2 runs. Those 2 players in particular really getting things going, exactly what you want out of the top of your lineup.
So Herman has scored twice, reached base 3 times. Add a couple RBIs to that as well. And she's one of the main reasons why her team has jumped out to a 4-0 lead.
The top 4 in this Cardinals lineup, very impressive. Abby Murphy hits a couple off of her foot in a row.
Ball gets past the catcher, Yeager, and standing now at third base is Herman. I think she likes around in third and stepping on home plate. Looking to do it for the 3rd time. A ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Not missing by much there.
Woo. From our angle, that looked pretty good. Must have been just a little on the inside of the plate. Good eye there by the senior Murphy.
Digging deep here is Hopkins. A little late swing. Again, the field in excellent condition for all the rain that came to Fort Dodge yesterday. Nearly a 3.5-hour rain delay. They were playing to the wee hours of, well, this morning. And the field crew did a great job. Called 3rd strike. That ends the top of the 4th, but not after some damage was done. Weber, Sprague score off of a Herman stand-up double, and it's 4-0 in favor of Earlham. Well, don't miss a minute of today's exciting action. Iowa Public Television streaming today's softball championship live. Visit IPTV.org. Again, it's IPTV.org to watch the live streaming. It's happening right now. It's happening all day long here from Fort Dodge.
Good little look at the GoPro camera. perched in each of these teams' dugouts. Nice little feature by the Iowa Public Television folks.
Well, when IPTV does something, you know, they go all out. They do it at the highest level, and the camera angles to the crew. And they have just rolled out the red carpet for us. We feel very blessed to be working with the directors, producers, instant replay, graphics, camera operators. The list goes on and on and on. And it's, you don't just show up and flip a switch and, okay, now we're broadcasting live across the state of Iowa. It's a great feature, and I know the Iowa Public Television is glad to be partnered with the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Union to bring you not only softball, but basketball, volleyball, soccer, track and field, all the great sports, and it's great to have that statewide exposure. Here's Tasha Alexander trying to get things going offensively for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Hit well, but a good job at tracking that down. Boston out in left field.
Well, the key for this Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont squad is that you're not going to win it with one pitch here. Unless you've got 3 ducks on the pond, you're going to tie it up. So it starts with getting base runners. Get on base however you can. Get hit by a pitch. Get a walk. Lay down a drag bunt. Something. Find your way on base, and then you can work from there.
We're at about the midway point of this championship matchup. So you don't have to feel rushed, like, oh, we need to get 4 runs right now, but now is the time to start chipping away at it.
And Kaylee Brindley, nice. The pitcher, again, done a nice job in the circle, and she doesn't overwhelm you necessarily with her speed or what she's going to throw at you, but very composed through 6 innings of hitless softball yesterday in the semis. So she's battle tested, has done a really nice job, and in this game, again, not really going to overwhelm you, but she's only given up 1 hit so far.
And that's the thing, a no-hitter through 6 innings. They gave up 2 runs. This one's popped up to center. Took a step back, now drifts in. The wind's swirling a bit, but Sprague gets the 2nd out as a couple of pop flies, easily retiring Alexander and Hopkins. And that'll bring Yeager to the plate. She has the only hit of the ball game for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Trying to get a little 2-out rally going as this fouled back. Going back to finish my thought, in the semifinals, Earlham had a no-hitter through 6, had a couple of errors. Game was tied 2-2, and then the very first batter, the catcher, who we spotlighted, Williamson, steps up and has a walk-off home run. So they didn't hit the panic button. Stayed calm, persevered, and had a chance to play for a state title now today.
And really nice to see the sophomore Williamson step up in that situation and knock one out of the park. You know that as a sophomore really wanted to send these 6 seniors out in style. Wasn't going to be satisfied with being in that consolation 3rd place game, so she just stepped up and got the job done on her own.
3 pop flies here in the 4th inning, 2 to the outfield, 1 to the pitcher, and Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont team goes down 1-2-3. And we have even more with Brent Bloom. Brent, take it away.
Here with Tony Fenton. And Tony, how do you keep chipping away down 4-0 here, but you obviously have some offensive potential?
Well, we have offensive potential. We just got to, make better swings right now. We're chasing some high stuff. We're not making good contact, so it's just a matter, our bats, they can come alive. We score a lot of runs in bunches, but, we got to keep playing good defense now and, get the job done. We'll get some base runners here and we'll get some runs.
Uncharacteristic for your team in that first inning with that error that led to a run. Have they calmed down since then, do you think?
Yeah, I think we've calmed down a little bit. We've had a couple errors here and there, and it's definitely given them some runs and put the pressure on us. So we got to try to keep the kids relaxed here and just come out and play like we were capable.
You have had 23 hits through 2 games. Your offense is obviously can score in bunches. Is it just a matter of finding holes?
Yeah, it's a matter of just hitting the ball solid. Right now, we really haven't hit a ball hard, and so it's just a matter of being solid and getting a good drive on the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach Tony Fenton. Thank you, Brent Bloom. Brent joining Eric Braley and Molly Parrott as we are excited to be broadcasting the 2A championship game here. The winner gets the state championship trophy and banner. A lot riding on this. Great camera angle there.
Really appreciate all of the head coaches in these championship games allowing IPTV to mic them up and to do some sideline interviews, providing that GoPro camera angle from inside the dugouts. Really some nice insider features.
And I'm sure you, the viewer at home, whether you're watching on TV or streaming live on IPTV.org, are enjoying it as well. An inside look at what's taking place here from Fort Dodge. Murphy is out, number 1, and that pitch outside for a ball. This is Morgan Johnson. You see hitting 276. Having a good day at the plate today. And grabbing that up in right field there is Richmond.
Richmond, the 8th grader, nice little catch right on top of her shoelaces.
Hey, it works. Sun's coming out. The wind still blowing out of the south. Weather report, 75 degrees, a little overcast. Wind out of the south at 18 miles per hour. Gusts up to about 25 miles per hour. Currently here in Fort Dodge. Big cut. And now falling to 0-2.
Hopkins has fooled some folks for Earlham with that changeup. She's used it pretty effectively, has kept it low.
Ball low and in the dirt. Good job by the catcher, Yeager.
Now that ball for Hopkins is really spinning, and that pitch in particular, that low pitch with a lot of spin on it, your catcher really has to sit on it.
Nice defensive play over there at the hot corner first base. Reinhardt scoops it up, steps on the bag. And we head to the 5th inning. Well, enjoy all that the Iowa State Fair has to offer with Iowa Public Television. Watch fair highlights August 11th through the 16th at 9. See Clifford, the Big Red Dog, at the IPTV booth. Join us for IPTV Day at the fair on the 13th. The governor debate on the 14th. And of course, Market Live on the 15th. It's the Iowa State Fair, brought to you by Iowa Public Television. And that is just around the corner, Molly.
But how do you talk about the Iowa State Fair and not talk about food?
Corn dogs. Anything
you
on a
name
stick.
it.
What's your go-to, Molly?
Oh,
I mean, you're a college athlete, so I'm assuming you stick to the healthy, like
Yeah, right.
the sweet corn, right?
Former college athlete, seems like a long time ago. I'm gonna have to give that a little thought. I don't know, there's so many good options.
So you stay with us during the 4A game. Midway through, I will bring you Molly's top fair foods.
Got it. IPTV folks didn't know we were gonna come up with our own features.
We'll get the graphics made and everything by that 4A matchup. Again, congratulations to the Class 1A champions, Akron Westfield. A 12-1 victory over Key. Key was actually at 1-0. Give credit to Akron, who now has won 54 straight.
And a couple of really nice stories there. That Key squad has improved so much the last couple years. Good young head coach, former college softball player at Mount Mercy. Love to see her taking over that squad and the changes they've made in that development. And then can't say too much about Akron Westfield. They have been very consistent. The Fab Five in that senior class. Congrats to them.
Nice shot, left center, extra bases, rounding first. This is Sadie Beaufort. And that's a way to get things going here in the 5th inning with the stand-up double by your leadoff hitter.
Yesterday we saw this Eddyville squad put a lot of pressure on the Highland defense. Again, that Highland squad came into that semifinal game ranked 1st in the state, only 1 loss on the year. But Eddyville just continued to put the pressure on them. We haven't seen them been able to do much of that today. We'll see if maybe this is their opportunity.
Team speed. That's one of the best characteristics of this Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont Rockets team. Went 26-5. Again, coming off a big win over the #1 ranked team yesterday in the semis. Group's battle-tested and believes in themselves and each other. Revisiting the keys to the game, they wanted to put the ball in play and take the extra base. Trailing 4-0.
And with only a few innings remaining, they do need a little bit of a big inning.
Ball put into play. Tough and safely reaching first base. Good hustle by Malloy. Boffer advances to third. And sometimes, we saw it yesterday against Highland, you put the ball in play, you make them make a play. And now, in a real good spot with no outs and runners on the corners, a quick timeout as Earlham has a huddle.
11 for 9 hitting, 11 for 9.
We're gonna have a pinch hitter here. Looks like this is Riley Arnold, senior for this Eddyville squad. Just gonna pitch hit for the 8th grader Randy Richmond. I think that's a good decision. Give the senior an opportunity in the state championship game. Randy Richmond being an 8th grader. Be a little bit of a pressure cooker up there maybe for the youngster.
Can only imagine. It's been a long time since I was in 8th grade, but I can't imagine with playing for a state championship game. Ball gets past the catcher. Could have possibly ran home.
Well, and I wonder if maybe Boffer thought it was maybe a foul ball or something. She didn't make any attempt on that pass ball.
Double play is taken out of it with first base being available. So Boffer at third, Malloy at second. Here's the pinch hitter, the senior, Riley Arnold, at the plate. The on deck circle, number 9 hitter, McKinley Moore. Pitch just misses, and the count out 1-2.
And Kylie Brindley in the circle, definitely in the power position here.
Good cut.
See if she'll maybe keep it out of the zone. I wouldn't want to offer her anything too close with a 1-2 count. Make her chase it.
She had 16 at-bats heading into the state tournament, hit about 250. Fouled back.
I think Coach Fenton telling her you're close. Awfully close. Fouling back a couple, really battling.
Dig in. And when you look at softball, this is really the matchup, the pitcher and the hitter. Popped up, diving grab, holy buckets. Look at the effort. That's Weber stretching and making an athletic grab. We got to see this one again.
Well, we've mentioned all along, she's a really nice little spark plug for this Cardinals squad. Really got them going on the offensive end, set the tone from her first at-bat in that leadoff position, and right here laying out. Looking cool, calm, and collected over there with her shades on.
This ball gets past the catcher, and Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont is on the board. Boffer, who had that leadoff double, hustles in from third base, and now trailing just by 3. As you see the replay, just mistake there, squeezed out of the mitt. Great hustle, nice slide, and 4-1 is our score. Still threatening as Malloy now on third. Fouled back.
Ashley Pilcher at the plate, another pinch hitter. See if she maybe has a little better luck than Riley did.
Hitting in that number 9 spot, top of the order in the on-deck circle. Ball put into play. Runner will come home, and that is an RBI sacrifice. Hey, cut the lead into half so far here in the 5th inning.
It's all about putting the ball in play. Coach Fenton mentioned to Brent Bloom on that sideline interview, just felt like they were chasing some bad pitches, really just weren't playing their game at the plate in this inning. Done a much better job of that.
So Earlham has 7 hits. Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont has 1, but it's a 4-2 ball game. As Boyer popped up to right field in the 1st inning and to second base in the 3rd. takes a strike, count even at 1-1. Again, you have it tuned in. Class 2A championship high school softball here. Foul ball.
Great job of Brindley. You could see Taylor Williamson, the catcher, setting up on the inside of that plate, and she hits it on the money. Boyer battles it off right off the handle.
Digs in, here's the pitch. Foul ball again. Count now 1-2. Well, yesterday was interesting watching Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont play, and we were sitting in the stands taking notes and just saying, just have a lot of athletes. And it has really transferred over here to the batter's box. The confidence that even if you're down in the count, being able to make something happen. There's a lot of green out there in the outfield and trying to hit a gap here. Off-speed pitch out of the strike zone. Two the count. 2 away. Bases are empty. Trouble. Another nice play. The left side of that infield got their pants a little dirty there after sliding Weber at third in foul territory. Permanent shortstop, but helping the pitcher Brindley. Nice defensive effort.
Well, Kristen Weber and Addie Herman, as we mentioned earlier, probably our go-tos for players of the game. Kristen Weber makes that nice defensive play there in the hot corner, and Addie Herman comes right back, says, anything you can do, I can do better.
Let's take a look at the first 5 innings highlights. How do we get to where we are now? A 4-2 lead for Earlham, and it was right off the get-go. The first 4 batters get on base. Ball hit, scoring another run. And again, that's Addie Herman. She scored twice in the 4th inning. That's Herman again. A one-hopper to the outfield fence, crossing home plate. Leadoff hitter Weber. And back to live action. A quick out, taking that first pitch.
And as you mentioned, nice little battle back there by the Comets. Getting down 4-0. They don't get their dauber down. They just kind of manufacture a couple of runs that last inning to cut that gap in half.
Now, if you're Earlham, you want to add some insurance runs here. The 6th and 7th innings coming. This game's starting to wind down here.
Eddyville with just a couple more chances. They are the home team.
But I don't know if a 4-2 lead is going to cut it. A ball, a strike, and out. And here's the pitch. Just goes foul, kicking up chalk down the left field line.
In this Eddyville squad, they do have a couple young ladies on the team who can knock it out of the park, but for the most part, they're not that heavy-hitting team with gaudy statistics, so they just need to find a way to get runners on.
Nice athletic play. A lot of times you put one of your best defensive players at shortstop, Alexander, going to her right, scoops it up, and just a cannon of a throw over to Reinhardt. So 2 back-to-back outs. And now Boston at the plate. Sacrifice. RBI in the 4th inning. 3rd time she's been up to hit. Two sack bunts, helping her team any way she can. A 3-0 count. Maybe the take is on here as Boston gets set. Weber, leadoff hitter in the on-deck circle. There's the strike.
We'll see what pitch Hopkins goes to here. Has a number in her bag of tricks.
That one through the wickets, right up the center of the infield. Skips over second base bag. And she's having a pretty nice performance hitting Emily Boston. Starting a little two-out rally for her Earlham Cardinals.
Well, she got ahead in the count, and Talia Hopkins had a little trouble throwing strikes, got down early, and it makes it a lot easier for the hitter if you know that it's coming right down the pipe.
Here's Kristen Weber, 2 for 3. 2 singles and a run. 24 RBIs on the year. This one hit well to the right center gap. Rolls to the fence. Sending her home. A little delay. Throw off the plate. Safe, safe. And another run for the Earlham Cardinals. A little delay by Emily Boston at third, but the throw just a bit to the right side of home plate. Another RBI for Weber. And there's those insurance runs that Earlham was looking for here in the sixth.
Well, Kristen Weber had struggled and swung early on a couple of changeups in this game. Very aggressive hitter. I'm a little surprised that the Comets gave her much to hit. Thought maybe she would see a little more off-speed action, and to her credit, she sees it coming in there and she's going to swing.
Why not? And here's Addie Herman, who has just had an outstanding championship performance. Hit by a pitch, scored in the first. Walked, stole a base, and scored in the third. Hit a 2 RBI stand-up double in the fourth, and now here's her fourth at bat. Threatening with the runner on third base. Again in the 6th inning. You can see 8 runs for this Earlham squad. And she goes down swinging, but not after Earlham gets another run. 5-2 is our score. They had Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont had a big 5th inning offensively where they got a couple runs back, but needing to back that up here in the 6th.
Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont, their fans on their feet yelling EBF. 6 outs to go. See what they can come up with here in the bottom of the 6th.
Here's a look at some great defensive plays by the third baseman, Weber. She is just leaving it all out there on the field, and as a coach, as a fan, as a teammate, you gotta love it. Dish out those high fives.
And she's fun to watch. It'll be fun to watch her senior year when she is the go-to senior after losing so many players who are a year ahead of her, and how she handles that, how she'll lead a really young squad after kind of being waiting in the wings a little bit as far as that leadership goes.
Paul Yeager, Laura Leonard will be set to call the 3A championship game at the conclusion of this one after they hand out the championship trophies. That'll drop in there for a base hit to lead off this bottom of the 6th inning. And that's kind of what we saw in the 5th inning. A leadoff double. They scored a couple runs. Now a leadoff single by the number 2 hitter and third baseman Paige Schaefer.
Tasha Alexander up at the plate. She's the young lady who will play at Drake in the fall. According to Coach Fenton, probably could have played 3 different sports in college, had some Division I opportunities in track and field, and will play at Drake in the fall. We'll play softball, so congrats to her. Appreciate seeing these multi-sport athletes who choose not to specialize, but still good enough, athletic enough to really compete at a very high level in that next phase.
Talking to all the coaches that we interviewed, they all loved it. They said, you know, it reduces injury if you play multiple sports. You get a chance to be with different teammates, playing different sports, different coaches. Now, you might go to a hitting camp or spend some time, do it with pitchers and catchers when you're out of season for softball, but that's what I know you and I love seeing as multi-sport high school athletes, when That doesn't always happen in this day and age. Ball popped up, left side of the field. Catching the shallow pop fly is the shortstop Herman. And staying at first base is Schaefer. Talking multi-sport, Molly. I mean, you played multi-sports in college. That's a rarity.
Well, it's hard to choose. when you love those sports so much, it's like so many of these young ladies out here, it's hard to choose or imagine giving them up. So I love seeing the multi-sport athletes at the high school level. And there aren't too many at the college level, but every now and then. But I think those kids who do play multiple sports at the high school level, they have a higher ceiling at the college level. I think there tends to be less burnout. I think data would show that there's less burnout. As you mentioned, fewer injuries. It's not a topic that I'm too bashful about to speak in my mind. I think you're in the same boat.
Little miscommunication in foul territory there, so new life for the pitcher, Natalie Hopkins. Popped up to the second baseman in the first, flew out to the center fielder in the fourth, trying to reach base for the first time here in this championship game. Bottom of the sixth inning, trailing 5-2. Hit that one well, drifting, and now you see it, now you don't. A round tripper. 2 runs will score for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont, and Hopkins with a huge swing of the bat. We got ourselves a ball game here, Molly.
Yep, and that missed foul ball over next to Coach Fenton maybe doesn't seem like such a big deal at the time until something like this happens.
2-run score with 1 swing of a bat.
Hopkins takes matters into her own hands, helping her own cause.
And that's why that insurance run scored by Earlham in the top half of the 6th inning is huge.
Absolutely.
You have 5 more hits by Earlham, but it's just a 1-run lead, and those fans that made the trip from Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont, oh, they're making some noise now. Looking to do some more damage here in the 6th with a runner on and only 1 out.
And you can see the maturity in the circle. She just goes right back at that next hitter, gets on top of the count.
1 fouled away, jumping out to an early lead in the count, 0-2. Well, talking with Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont's coach, he said, you know, yesterday we were down. I just told the girls to relax and play. They kept getting better and better as the game wore on. Just wanted them to play their game. All the hard work is done. Now it's time to have fun and go after a title. Ball hit well to right field. Hauling it in.
She bobbled it a little bit. That's why youngsters out there listening, I feel like Dick Vitale saying, oh, you young kids out there, this is how you do it. But that's why he catches the ball with 2 hands there. Pops out of her glove. She's got that free hand there to help her out.
As that pops out, you got a couple base runners on with only 1 out. Now, situation has changed. So a 5-4, wow, 5-4 lead here in the Class 2A championship game for Earlham. But heading back with a full steam, Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont with a big rally in the 5th and 6th innings. Sadie Boffert, the second baseman, had that double in the 5th inning. This ball hit to left field, coming in and hauling it in, making the grab out there. That's Boston. 2 runs scored off a big home run by the pitcher, Hopkins, and we got ourselves a game that's going down to the final inning of play.
Coach Caskey, as he emerged from the dugout there to join his team in the huddle, he had a big smile as if to say, relax, it's just a softball game.
Yeah.
We're still in good position. We got an insurance run our last time up. Let's do it again. Let's get another insurance run. And Abby Murphy, big hitter for this Cardinals squad, wants to get things going. She's been a little bit quiet in this game, I would say. Maybe overshadowed a little bit by the left side of the infield. They've been awfully impressive.
They have.
See if the lefty can get something going here.
See the fans, the inning by inning, the story of the game. Earlham gets 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. But who has been hot as of late? Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont, 2 in the bottom of the 5th, 2 in the bottom of the 6th. And that's where we are right now, a 5-4, slimmest of leads.
And we'll see if Hopkins maybe throws a couple of change-ups to Abby Murphy. She tricked her a little bit early in the game. Abby Murphy did a nice job of getting her weight back a little bit, though, enough to keep the ball in fair territory and get on base.
Swinging at the first pitch, it'll be hit to left field. Drops it, wind swirling around, reaching second safely, as you see on your TV screen there, is Abby Murphy.
Abby Murphy runs really well.
That's why you hustle. You don't know if it's going to be hauled in or dropped. An air out in left field, and now a runner on in scoring position. Again, any insurance run will help Earlham feel much better as they head to the bottom of the 7th. Doing her job, Brindley advances Murphy over to third base on the sac bunt.
As we were mentioning earlier, with the technology in softball bats today, really appreciate that small ball even more so, I think, than I ever did. But particularly love when your cleanup hitter can step up and put down a bunt.
Kind of a squeeze bunt. Look to first. Oh, dove right in there. A lot of action. Runners are safe on the corners. The pitcher for Eddyville, Hopkins, you got choices. Look the runner back, faked it, goes to third. Safely diving back just in the nick of time. You feel the intensity cranking up a couple notches here, Molly?
You know it.
Oh, my.
First and third, what will Coach Caskey do?
So reaching on the fielder's choice is Johnson. Williamson now at the plate. Has yet to reach base in this ball game. Has a very good average on the season, hitting in that number 6 spot. Fouled back. Aces across the board. A ball is striking out. And trailing by 1 is Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont.
Williamson was the hero in the semis with that walk-off homer.
Dehydration, illness, and all.
Pretty good bounce back for the sophomore.
Ball gets by the catcher, but it's foul tipped. Yeah, I don't really want to complain about my lack of sleep last night when she is battling through some serious illness. Again, the Iowa Public Television crew working into the wee hours of the morning. Had a 3.5-hour rain delay yesterday. Ball goes foul down the right side. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes with runners on the corners.
Nice job, Williamson, battling off that pitch. A little bit of an off-speed offering. Good job of just getting enough of a bat on it to hang right in there and stay alive.
Takes that off the handle of the bat, possible double play. Getting the runner at second. Thought she might have pulled the foot. The field umpire said she's safe as she was juggling it. A run scores regardless. Well, let's take a look at the replay. The replay doesn't lie. Fielded cleanly.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not an official.
No,
I am not an umpire or an official. Will never claim to be one.
So scoring from third, and that changes things because you would have had runners at first and second with 1 out, but instead now 2 outs. Popped up, drifting back. There's the catch. And Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont has some work to do. It's their last chance. They need at least 2 runs to force extra innings as they trail 6-4. Hey, if they score 3, they're your Class 2A champions. There's a look inside the huddle. The fans are going to try and do their part. Put the rally caps on. If you're a Rockets fan, and again, great view inside the dugout. It all comes down to this. A long season, a successful season Earlham, they just need to lock down and play good defense.
And essentially do what they've done, played pretty clean softball. Do have just the one error. Kaylee Brindley's done a nice job of getting ahead on batters pretty much all day long. These last few innings, the Comets, it seems like they've just been a little smarter at the plate, maybe a little more maturity, not so much anxiousness, and put the ball in play and see what happens.
Revisiting our keys to the game for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Put the ball in play, take the extra base. That's going to be important. So we will see. It boils down to this. Backs against the wall. Number 6, Rachel Malloy. Swings at the first pitch. Nice grab. Hopping high into the air is Herman for out number 1.
Herman came in on it a little bit and then kind of it's a little higher than I think. Good athleticism there.
Randy Richmond, the number 8 hitter, takes ball 1. Richmond on the year. Again, just an 8th grader. 19 at-bats heading into the tournament. Pitch upstairs in the zone for a 2-0 count. There's the strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 away. Taken to the right side of the field, boots it. And reaching first base safely, took a hop and squirted past Murphy over there at second base.
Yeah, good things happen when you put the ball in play. Put pressure on the defense. No greater pressure in high school softball than in the bottom of the 7th in a state championship game.
So the tying run at the plate. This one popped back to the screen, good hustle. Class 2A championship, Iowa High School softball from Fort Dodge. Brent Bloom, Molly Parrott, Eric Braley, and the outstanding production crew here for Iowa Public Television. Hope you're enjoying this one. Doesn't get any better than this.
Just a little outside.
Here's Pilcher's numbers. Today 0 for 1. She substituted in for Moore, who had the start. Nice defensive play there by the pitcher, Brindley. Didn't worry about trying to get the lead runner, and now Earlham is just 1 out away from your Class 2A championship.
And a smart decision, I think, by your senior pitcher there. Know the situation, know that you have a 2-run cushion. Essentially, that the runner on second doesn't matter. So while in most situations you always want to try for that lead runner, in this situation, just get outs.
Ball popped in the air and grabbing it. Earlham, your Class 2A state champions for the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Association in 2014. Congratulations.
Won a championship back in 2009. Were runner-up a couple of years ago. Nice to see these seniors go out in style. And good to see this Rockets squad battle back as well after getting down 4-0 early.
An outstanding season for the Rockets. 26-6. They played a very competitive schedule. Clark, who's in their conference, is playing next for the Class 3A championship. And Earlham, 31 wins, 4 losses, your 2A champions.
Well, Coach Caskey talked about their non-conference schedule and how competitive it was, playing a lot of bigger schools. He said, we got whipped by Indianola right going into the postseason. He said, we learned so much from those experiences. It kind of brings you back down to earth a little bit, and it proves to be very valuable in the postseason.
Let's now send it to Randy Krejci, the public address announcer, for handing out the awards.
Iowa Farm Bureau Board of Directors, District 6. The 2014 Class 2A All-Tournament team, Taylor Hipsley of Earlham. Sadie Boffer of Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Megan Kirchgatter of Maple Valley, Anthony. Taylor Huber of Alburnett. Addie Herman of Earlham. Kelsey Hora of Highland. Allie Still of Woodbury Central. Tasha Alexander of Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. Taylor Williamson of Earlham. Natalia Hopkins, Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont. And the captain of the Class 2A All-Tournament team for 2014, Kaylee Brindley. Earlham.
Tuck that wire in.
Congratulations to all the honorees. That's an impressive bunch as you see the Class 2A All-Tournament team. Hipsley, Bauer, all the way down the list. To have your name on that graphic means that you've had an outstanding season in tournament.
Absolutely, and we had featured Kaylee Brindley in the pregame, and I think with good reason. Ends up the captain of the all-tournament team. Congrats to her and her teammates, and particularly those seniors who are moving on to that next stage. And for Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont, seniors who graduate, congrats to them. Great season, great careers.
All right, here's the trophy presentation now.
Player will receive a commemorative softball provided by Iowa Farm Bureau, the title sponsor of the Girls Athletic Union. Presenting awards are members of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Board of Directors. The runner-up trophy will be given by Tom Kinseth, a Board of Director member, and he will also be giving the runner-up plaques will come from George Tracy. The championship trophy will be given out by Dr. Greg Thomas, Board of Director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, and the championship plaques and coaches plaques will come from George Tracy, also a Board of Directors on the IGHSAU. Congratulations to the runner-up in Class 2A, head coach Tony Fenton and the Rockets of Eddyville-Blakesburg-Fremont on an outstanding 2014 softball season. And your 2014 Class 2A State Softball Champions, head coach Mr. Chris Caskey and the Cardinals of Earlham High School.
Congratulations to Earlham, your Class 2A champions. 31 wins, just 4 losses. An outstanding season ends with a state championship, and you have to tip your hat to the runner-up as well, the Rockets. They did it with class and just an excellent season. They come up just short by 2 runs here in the championship game, 6-4. So we've handed out 2 trophies, the Class 1A title, the Class 2A title. Got a lot of work left here today, though, from Fort Dodge. 3A is next, followed by 4A and 5A. Don't go anywhere. The fun continues from the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Association's 2014 Softball Championships. Back with more right after this from Fort Dodge.
Funding for the Iowa Girls High School Softball Championships is provided by
The path to greatness starts early. The Iowa Farm Bureau believes in Iowa's youth and their pursuit of greatness. That's why we're proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Each student's effort is important, and when one rises, we all rise to a better Iowa.
Whether you live in rural Iowa or in the big city, the Iowa Network Services family of companies and your local provider are working together to keep you connected by offering technology and business solutions like internet, data networking, and other business services. The INS family of companies keeping communities connected today and tomorrow.
Fairway, along with Mondelez Nabisco, Wells Blue Bunny, and Frito-Lay, is a proud sponsor of the 2014 Iowa Girls High School Sports Championships. We congratulate all the schools and student athletes participating in this year's Girls High School State Softball Championships. Fairway, proud to care for the places we work and live.
By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialist, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.
Mid-American Energy and their Energy Advantage programs are dedicated to increasing the awareness of energy efficiency in Iowa's homes and businesses. Information is at midamericanenergy.com. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.